Good day and welcome back. I'm back after another session of playing. I believe it's been about 2.5, 3 hours since you last were here. And yes, it's all up with all of the internal structure required. So, yeah, this is how far I have gotten. And obviously, you can see that there's some progress being made on the base. The base is actually growing at a good enough rate. It's a good enough, not a fantastic rate, and there's a reason why I'm saying that. So overall, this base is a killer in terms of resources. The bigger you make your bases, the worse the resource consumption gets. And this base is, well, it's a monster. In terms of wood, I think enough to fill up several whole chests because eventually this whole base will come down. Uh, when I progress into the next level, which is going to be stone, this whole base will come down. The simple and easy reason to explain why I have to take down this whole base is at the end of the day, um, you need a little bit more space when you go up in levels. And stone cutting may not be the biggest skill that a person may need, but stone cutting is really yeah, stone cutting. That's the table, but it is really important for defense. If I'm going to fight off something like trolls, with a wooden fortress, they can actually break through 90% of my defense. And with a stone defense, they can only break through about 10% of that defense. So I have that advantage of being able to hold up against a little bit more. See if I can take down both of these trees at the exact same time. Oh yeah, I've died here just recently. Similar to this, I came up here for wood, and I ended up walking over this edge. And instead of doing it at a regular pace, I actually jumped. As a result, I took about 45 damage in a single leap, and I still leaped the second time to try and save myself from the damage, which only ended up pushing me even further down, resulting in an instant death. Yeah, so that's how I have a death beacon that shows up right next to my base. Okay, now it's time to build out this last little cozy corner. Okay, so another topic to talk about while going through this section. Favorite movies. How's that? It's nothing to do with the game. It's off topic totally. So if I get distracted and I wander around with my topic, it's not really going to hurt. I have a bad feeling. Right now, my prediction is telling me there's a raid coming in a few minutes. And if I am correct, it's going to be against Great Wars. I'm not so good with them unless I have meat because of the poison damage from shamans. So yeah, something crazy. I don't have enough to finish off this room, this wall, by the way. Oh yeah, so favorite movies. My favorite movies are generally Jackie Chan movies. I really enjoyed Jackie Chan growing up. One of the worst movies of his that I ever watched was Rush Hour. So whenever I saw Jackie Chan on a movie, I knew that it was safe to watch. And when someone showed a restriction of 18 or something with the Jackie Chan movie, I was like, can't be that bad until I watched Rush Hour. It was the first time I ever saw Jackie Chan in a movie like that. It was crazy. In case anybody doesn't know what I mean, Rush Hour has a lot more nude scenes than any other Jackie Chan movie that you can watch. And that's because Chris Tucker really has a way with getting in trouble in that movie. I'm forgetting his real life name. No, his real life name is Carter. No, it's not real life. Sorry, his character's name is Carter. So that means his real life name is Chris Tucker. I didn't even realize that. Detective Lee and Detective Carter. Oh, wow, okay, so I do know his name, Chris Tucker. But anyway, that was the first time I ever had a bad experience with the Jackie Chan movie. Although that was a bit crazy and the scenes were a bit hilarious. I'd say that was my most disappointing Jackie Chan movie that I watched in my youth. Talking about a bad movie is a good way to start off the list of movies. It was the most disappointing movie I watched of his because I couldn't watch it at the time when I wanted to watch it. It was only about, let's see, I was 12. No, I was older when, no, I was younger when it came out. I was 12 when I got to watch it. And I think I was 16 when I finally watched it from start to end. That's how I died. That is literally how I died, basically. Oof, almost repeated history. So yeah, that was one of my favorite Jackie Chan movies. Then he came out with the spy movie where he was a spy and he was trying to get onto the good books with the woman's kids because he was in love with her and he wanted to get married. And the kids did everything possible to ruin it. And it was a real nice movie. We got to see some nice things. We got to see the nice side of people based on how Jackie Chan portrayed himself in that role. You know, we always got Cinderella's where the step parent is horrible. from what I understand, for most people, that's how it goes 90% of the time. There is the small 10% where it goes wonderful, um, but obviously that's provided that circumstance is correct for it to have gone there. Oh, sorry about that. I was thinking I'm about to die. Considering what I have, I should be able to complete. Yes, I'm actually going to be able to complete this. And in case anybody thinks that I'm just a minor fan, I was a crazy Jackie Chan fan. I had a list. I had books listing every single movie he ever was in. So yeah, I was one of those crazy fans who follows a star that they like quite heavily, and that's how most of um, my favoritism for international movies came about. I was a very dedicated anime watcher when I was very young, so I already watched Dragon Ball Z, but it was always the sub, not the sub. Sorry, it was always the dub. And then later on, I found out about the existence of subs. I think that from the time I was 6 till the time I was 11, I watched it in dub. Then I got a hold of my first sub, and I found the uncensored sub. So I found them swearing and everything in the anime. That was one of the crazy ones. Then I found Bio Broly. One of the guys who was in school with me actually had a copy of the movie. So yeah, I borrowed his box set, and that's how I got my first experience of the DBZ movies. I really didn't like the DBZ movies. I thought Broly was someone much more fun, and it kind of ruined it for me. Then later on came the rest of anime for me, basically. So yeah, that's my experience. And I'm playing a game that has nothing to do with movies, and I'm talking about movies. If I had to give a reason why this year is bringing up the topic of movies, it's quite simple. Because every time I play a game like this, I need a movie to keep in the background. It's it's something that uh, I have to do, and to be honest, my family has always been very big on owning DVDs. We actually own about 400 original DVDs, and we owned even more in the past. It's just that a lot of them got degraded with time. So, with the degradation, we ended up having to have to make copies to cope with bad the bad health of the DVDs. And yeah, so now basically we have originals and we have copies of those originals so that we can watch the movies. It's only a few that are in copies, and yes, that would count as copying a movie, but it's not like we committing piracy. we own the original, and through natural degradation, it doesn't play anymore. So we had to copy it over to a USB so we can watch it, and that's how it goes. When I was younger, my favorite series was Transformers. That's movie series. Jackie Chan doesn't really have many movie series that I know of. In terms of a show to watch and enjoy once off, or just for a few weekends or with friends or family, Jackie Chan was the best option in terms of an actor to follow to get good movies. His movies were always uh, family safe, so oh, you didn't have to worry that oh no, can kids watch this year? If I play this year, am I about to get a shouting from my friends' parents? Am I gonna give a bad impression? So yeah, that was kind of the things when I was younger. You thought about things from a different perspective altogether. And in case you think just nudity and all those small things were a crazy thing when I was younger, even swearing was considered to be a real big problem. A lot of people used to be very, very upset with swearing, and then it became far more commonplace. I believe that was around the time that a movie called Demolition Man came out, and it kind of showed the irony behind people censoring swearing. So yeah, kind of bought me some freedom in my youth. Okay, let me go up. I need to complete the outer walls. So yeah, this side has its doors and everything are in. I can close this. Oh, I forgot about eating food. So yeah, the four towers on the side are all fully healed for the moment. I can remember when it was. You walk out and you fall off the edge. Now it's so much more complicated. I have no need for fine wood at the moment. And as I said it, at the moment. There is something I've never completed in this game, now that I think about it. I've never completed the Mistlands. So yeah, that's going to be an experience. Even in my last playthrough, the Mistlands was so tough that I actually gave up midway through. So yeah, who knows? Maybe in this playthrough, I'll be able to complete the Mistlands and I'll have a new experience and you can come along with me. Oh, that's it. It's now nighttime. Okay, I'm getting into the base before something crazy happens. Ah, the space still needs its moat. Without the moat, the space is pretty wonderful. You might be wondering, why would anybody build a moat around a base like this? And it's pretty simple. The outer sea edge is quite a good deterrent for 50% of the enemies that may attack, but the rest, it doesn't even hold a candle to them. Let's see, what else is there that I can talk about in terms of hilarious stuff from when I was a kid? Being a kid makes a lot of things a lot more easier to explain in some ways. It also makes a lot of stories a little bit more viewer friendly, should I say. Obviously, some of us have some crazy stories when we were kids doing some crazy things, but that's not all of us, that's just some of us. Some of us got away with a lot more, some of us got away with a lot less. And I know the stories from those who got away with a lot less. Oh, wait 1 second, is this one here covered? Yeah, that's covered. Thereafter, it goes open. There are always 4 staircases to any region on my base. The reason for it is simple, that's because of damage. I have lost complete bases in the past. There was a base that I made for fighting the Elder, and he actually smashed through my entire base. There was a base I made for Bone Mass, and yeah, that boss is a bit more ruthless. He also smashed through the entire base, but that wasn't the bad part of it. The bad part was nothing actually survived from my original base. My entire base was basically totally wrecked. I like how this place looks right now. It's nice and gray. As soon as I finish building out that top, then I can start filling in the roof. The roof needs a ton of core wood again. So yeah, let me see what's my core wood supply looking like. 7, yeah, so that's still far away from its need. Once I have that up, then I'll go through and I'll put up all of the supports. They actually touch the roofs where they're going to go in. So it's put up the supports to build the inner layer, then start putting up the roof and touch with the poles that turns them orange, and you start to build that entire pattern at the top. And when you get that perfect V and you meet up in the dead center over here, which is quite crazy, you end up with this beautiful looking roof. It's a type of roof that you would expect to see. It would run rain onto this roof into a gutter and it would run it out into another area if we did have gutters. But since this isn't that realistic, it makes it quite pretty. So when I was younger, besides all of that, one of my crazy habits was watching documentaries. Now you can imagine what it's like having a small kid who loves documentaries over movies. In terms of entertainment, it was impossible to keep other people with me because if you gave me fiction, there was a very strong chance that I wasn't going to stay preoccupied and I was gonna run away. But if you gave me non-fiction, I generally sat around, which is why there was quite a big shock for some people when they found out that I actually watched something like Dragon Ball Z. And when they found out that I enjoyed Jackie Chan, they were also even more wondering how in the world do you get that unruly brat who just doesn't listen to anything but National Geographic to watch a movie. And they found out that I had a thing for watching martial arts. It turns out that I also was a little bit skilled at it. I actually had the ability to retain a kata after about 4 or 5 repetitions. So yeah, my sensei actually recommended that I take the advancement exam ahead of time. So I didn't know why he was saying it. I didn't want to. I just wanted to learn how to fight properly, ironically enough, at that time. And it so happens that the very next few months would end up ruining the type of person I was in school. So back then, it was just before in South Africa where they had a full ban on corporal punishment. So in my school, they had corporal punishment, and one of the teachers decided that they didn't like the way I speak. So because of being a crazy nerd, one of the big negatives were that a teacher can't call their con with the students. So it kind of caused some problems. One of the teachers had a problem with doing maths correctly. And yes, that is 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 3. The teacher had a problem with doing maths at that level. And they ended up getting humiliated by me every time they made a mistake. And the reason they were humiliated was they hadn't yet even taught the lesson, but I was already correcting them on that simple addition. And yeah, it ended up getting me quite a heavy beating in school. After a year of it, it kind of numbed me out. And the next school where I went to, they had a positive reinforcement structure, and they noticed that I had abuse patterns. So yeah, they had problems trying to get me to interact with other individuals. It turns out by having abuse patterns, you also end up welcoming bullies to trouble you, and that's exactly what happened to me. I ended up getting the attention of a few bullies, and they ended up beating me senseless for a few months. And when I say beating me senseless, I don't mean in any less than the word that we used. That is a stump. So that's one of the reasons why I really love Jackie Chan before I learned any of that. It kind of numbed me out to this whole peaceful generation stuff. I really hated it afterwards. There's no use in peace unless you're capable of defending yourself. That's something I learned the hard way. So yeah, that was one of my lessons from childhood. I know somebody else might say the opposite, but yeah, as someone who was abused, I really don't see why a peaceful society should exist. I really disagreed with that message in a lot of movies, and yeah, that was the general theme of it. I enjoyed Jackie Chan. He showed a method of fighting that I endorsed, and that was to defend yourself. So yeah, it really was fun. And then things went a little bit weird for me. I have a strong dislike towards the teaching profession. Obviously, they were my first abusers. So yeah, I actually have a weird vow that one day I'll make sure that teaching goes extinct, and that was just based on the fact that they allowed for so many horrible things to be done to me. And ironically enough, when I finally got into the level where studying was a possibility, I figured out just how little teaching actually imparts. Uh, to explain that, it's quite brutal. But I realized that teaching wasn't that difficult. That's because a whole lot of teachers used to come up to me to ask for help. Being a nerd, it meant that they needed some help with some things. And when they needed help, it's when I realized teachers aren't much different from students. They basically on the same level, and most teachers are at that level. Most, not all. Some are the rare few who are really worthy of what I would call respect, and I've respected them when I interacted with them. But the vast majority never managed to get that respect from me, which is kind of a sad thing because they still were my teachers. Oh, I still have more work. So yeah, that's how movies influenced my life. They helped me get through some of the worst parts. So close. Oof, it is just so close. There's not that many more needed before this section closes up. The roof on top uses as many as the floor does, so that is not going to be a quick and easy fix and done. There's a lot more than what is up here needed, so yeah, there's going to be another crazy amount. There's the side skirting. I think I should put them on before I. Ouch! Almost killed myself. Oh yeah, if anybody is wondering why I have fish in my inventory, that's quite a good little story as well. I have fish there because the last part of the base that was made had a ton of fish. So when I was building out around it, I ended up attracting fish into. Now let me go repair everything. All of my rooms are ventilatable. That's going to come in handy in the iron stage when I can build a hearth. In case anybody thinks that a wooden base is easier than a stone base, there's no difference. They're both just as difficult. They use the same amount of resources, ironically enough. Actually, I'd say that mining for stone is a little bit simple. Find a nice plains area, go and break one or two of those massive pillars, and once you've taken out enough of the base, the entire pillar comes down with about 8 to 900 stone. So yeah, that's far better than how I'm struggling right now to get wood. And obviously, the stuff that you have at the time is so much better. Instead of being able to only mine for like 2 minutes, you can mine for like about 15 minutes. Before anything is needed. I thought I was dead there. In one of my playthroughs, I think I got defeated by trees about 50 or 60 times. Oh yeah, I wanted to go and get core wood because I know how much of core wood I need. I need to do at least 2 runs of core wood for the next section. So I know what I'm going to do around my moat. Crazy enough, I'm going to plant trees too close to each other. I am going to overlap them almost with how I'm going to plant them to make a row of trees on the outside of my base. So when it comes time to fight, it's not going to be this crazy. Oh, there's something else to just chop through. The most ironic thing about this game is I don't think this game will ever go out of style because of the fact that it was made to look incorrect in graphics. It means that they don't have to worry about updating graphics on this game. If you're gonna mod it with the graphics mod, by all means go ahead. But this game will always be perfect the way it is. Kind of ironic. Did I leave through a normal door this time? I think so. Right now I only have one way up to this floor. Yeah, I need to just make sure that I keep my count. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3. Well, I remember I made a base which couldn't be accessed at all. The entire base was surrounded by a moat, and there was no way for you to actually get into the base. So eventually, the trolls broke all of my foundations by hitting at the ground. So all I had to do was actually go around during the time outside of the raids and fix it up. And I had a portal that was made at least 100 meters off the base, so that's where I would come out when I used that base. It was a crazy base. It did the most for me in terms of usage. Okay, time for me to put up the staircase. I am now in the night 100%. Okay, now it's time for me to head down. I don't know if I have enough for this. Okay, so off to the next topic since I've whined on enough, given her enough background. Let's see, what would be the next topic? Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, here's something crazy. Things which seem super easy but are super difficult. Woodworking seems pretty simple when you look at how things are done, but when you actually do it, if you don't have pre-drilled and um, easy assemble set, oh my goodness, is carpentry crazy. I actually went through the whole thing manually. Um, Compared to a pre-built cabinet with everything pre-arranged and perfectly set, when you do things manually, the is that a troll? No, thank goodness. Sorry about that. I'm still thinking about the next topic to talk about while I'm talking. Let's see. Crazy work stories. Ever work for a boss who takes all your credit? And I literally mean takes all the credit. You do something, he takes all the credit for it, and if you're gonna use it on a resume or something, no, I did that. No, you were wrong. I was right. So yeah, I've had a few experiences with employment in that manner. Not that I would sit at a job where my credit is taken away from me. Obviously, there is a reason to keep credit, and there is a reason to let go of it. Keeping credit is if you intend to progress ever in your job, and letting go of it, sometimes you have to let go of it even when you want to progress, because making a friend is better than making an enemy. Oh, I'm running. Forget fighting that troll. You know what? No. Forget that. If they want to come here. Oh, he ran away. Here comes one of the craziest. Yeah, the core wood structure is now really critical. It's not like there's any alternate to it for me when I'm building. Since I did fully construct the edge on this side, I'm just gonna put up the that is really terrible. Kidding me. Ooh. Bull your ways. Until it makes a stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. I wish it was a dream. Couldn't come up with a good topic, to be honest. My mind is just drawing a blank after the initial topic. Oh well, let's go for one more run. If I chop logs. Oh, wrong log. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna take you along on the trip to recover my body. Let me just pause here. I will bring you back the next time that there's progress. And the next progress will most likely be the completed base, which, as you can see, is quite close, but it's quite far at the same time. Okay, so that's about it. So, bye, guys.